Yeah, things are interesting. Life is reaching a boiling point where you're very much like, what is gonna happen? But still, yet, I made goals for myself and I want to continue to try and achieve them. I mean, who knows where I'll be a year from now? Probably Canada. But like, I just want to, I want to keep going. So here we are. So, as you can recall, when I was 8 years old, I went to Nigeria, and I've been trying to share a little bit of that experience because I've been reflecting on it lately. So, like, there are a few like smaller details that don't like they're not full stories. But I was like, oh, let me just share them because they are like pretty important. So yeah, let's get started. So I wrote down 5 things. So one of them was something personal, and that was the Elmo toy. So when I was younger, like around when I was a child that used to play with toys, not that I still do. So I remember I had an Elmo toy that kind of looked like this. It looked like this. I hope I find it right here. And it was my favorite toy. My favorite toy. I would play the piano keys and I would play the little song. La 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 Elmo's World. It was my favorite toy. So before I would go to Nigeria, my siblings would go before me, and they would spend like my younger sibling would spend like a year there, and my older sibling would be there for several years. And of course, that meant that like a lot of the stuff that used to belong to both me and my younger sibling would be divvied up between us to make the younger sibling happy because, well, they were going to Nigeria. So one of my favorite toys that was also my younger sibling's favorite toy was also taken. So when I was finally reunited with this toy, I was so excited to see it again. I was like, oh my gosh, it's my favorite toy. And true to form, the first thing I reached for to press, I try to press the piano keys. The demonic sound that came out from this piano, it was horrible. La 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 la. Is Elmo a grunge artist? Like, I don't understand. I remember looking at this toy and being like, okay, I don't, it wasn't my toy anymore. So my younger sibling, like my siblings would be living with my auntie and uncle who also had their own children, obviously. And so when, oh, here's things I brought from America, it's the assumption that they pressed the shit out of the piano key and now it didn't make noise anymore. They basically ruined. Heartbreaking, I know, but yeah, that's just one little detail that I remember. Something else I remember pertaining to more like American stuff was like our older sibling was a bit, we'll say, controlling, to put nicely. So the thing is, like, I remember the time frame when it was my older sibling and my younger sibling. Like, my older sibling was the only one who was in Nigeria, and how much my parents would do to like make sure they send money, make sure they send food, make sure they send all this stuff. And because things weren't readily available all the time, like certain cereals, like Fruit Loops, which was one of my siblings' favorite cereal, like they would essentially hoard and keep just like, oh, it's only mine, nobody else can have it, you're lucky if I even share it with you. So I remember every so often when my older sibling would actually share stuff, I just kind of be like, why are you hoarding this stuff? And like, add insult to injury, this like the cereal, I remember when when my older sibling was feeling generous, would share with us was stale, and I was like, it's not even worth it, I don't even want this cereal, you're sharing rubbish with us. But I just remember like sugary snacks and sugary cereals and all that stuff, like when our parents would send them, they were very much like just held, and like there were like my other sibling more or less had them under lock and key because again, this stuff isn't readily available. At that point in time, it wasn't readily available. I just remember like every so often when my older sibling would like bring up like, oh yeah, like it would be a Saturday morning, when you would have your morning cereal, like, let's have some Fruit Loops today, I'm feeling generous. I guess reluctantly sharing with the rest of us, not really wanting to share with us. I just remember little details like that. Speaking of American cereals, one thing I remember like was one of the first things I realized was that ratio of milk and Godimo proportions. You remember Godimo? This thing, I'm pretty sure, I hope people still eat it. But I remember it was like, when it was the milk and Godimo ratio, it had to be perfected. I remember, I think at one point I did have it perfected, because you add too much milk, it's just a soggy mess. You add too much Godimo, it's just a soggy mess. There is no winning. So it was a whole thing. I remember it took me specifically a long time to perfect that like Nigerian cereal, or West African cereal, I guess. But I have fond memories of that. Just trying to figure out that ratio. Yeah, good times. Okay, so yeah, finding the balance was hard. Okay, side note, I actually took a long detour to get to a certain part of the video, which will be around here. So just bear with me. It's so funny because like when you're making YouTube videos, it's very much like you're watching what the creator made, but you don't know what like the creator had to do in between all. Like I had to do a lot of chores and a lot of errands and whew, it's hard out here for a creator. Anyway, but yeah, finding the fine balance between Godimo and like milk and like not having a colossal mess. Anyway, speaking of food, so something we used to eat all the time, I remember all summer, was Indomie, or like noodles, and I to date can't stand it anymore. We overate it that summer. We ate it so much. Like every time we come home from church, and like during the week, I just remember I was like, I can't do this anymore. So now in my adult life, whenever people are like, oh, I want to make some ramen or some noodles or ramen or whatever, or Indomie, I'm just kind of like, I have to literally every time and I've I have nothing against it. Have you ever like eaten a food so much that you just the mere thought of it is just like, no, I can't do it. Like, for example, what other food do I can't think of it right now. But yeah, it was just one of those type of situations. I remember we ate it all the time during the summer. But yeah, we loved it. I loved it. Me and my cousins and my siblings, we all noodles was Indomie. Yes. But yeah, anyway. And last but not least, something else. So I love movies. My siblings and I, we love movies. My family loves movies. And of course, when my siblings had to go to Nigeria, if you remember if you see the YouTube story, they had obviously taken a few DVDs with them to Nigeria. So a few notable was, okay, I don't remember a lot, but the one I remember the most was Fat Albert, the live action Fat Albert. You know, the one where Bill Cosby has a little cameo character in, but yeah, the one where he's like, hey, hey, hey. But what's funny about it is, my siblings and my cousins would overwatch the DVD to the point where it was scratched beyond recognition. We would be watching the movie, right? And the amount of like stop and then stop and then stop and then it was like hilarious. So I just remember notably that one of the bigger moments was like at the end of the Fat Albert movie, like they sing the theme song one more time, nah, 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 gonna have a good day, and then hey, hey, hey. It was like that, and we loved every moment of it. Every moment of it. Every time I watch TV, that we loved it. But yeah, those are a few just not full-length videos, but smaller little details that I wanted to share. That I was like, oh yeah, I remember this happened, all those small little details. I probably have a few more because they're not like full-length videos, but I just thought I'd share. Okay, thank you so much for watching my video. Last thing I wanted to say was, with all that's happening in Minneapolis, Minnesota, I hope that you are putting your safety first. Everyone is going to play a different part in the revolution. That's something I've come to understand. However, I just implore you that make sure you stay safe, keep your family safe, make sure you have open lines of communication, and make sure you are taking care of yourself and one another. Our community is all we have here in Minneapolis. I love the city of Minneapolis. So it makes sense that it emulates this fighting spirit that we have, that I see in all my neighbors and all my family members, and so on and so forth, my friends, my loved ones, etc. So stay safe, stay hydrated, and stay tuned.